Joining us right now is Mr. Trev Lee from thedarkroom.com. For folks who... Hi, Trev.
How's it going?
We're doing great. Thank you for joining us, Trev. For folks who don't know, within 6 months of getting his first camera, Ohio native Trev Lee dropped out of college and enrolled in the Hallmark Institute of Photography. We have a rebel on our hands here, folks. He has been shooting film for over 10 years, a passion that grew during his time living in the Yosemite Valley. There, he used photography as a means to get to know people and encourage others to step outside of their comfort zones. That's a great topic, too. Now he sees photography as a way to tell a story and capture the beauty of ordinary life. Trev lives in Sacramento with his wife and newborn daughter, working as chief photographer at the Darkroom Lab. And you create and coordinate all social media to help build and educate the film community. Welcome. Trev, also for social media, there's the very popular at the Darkroom Lab on Instagram. How's it been going?
Yeah, how are you navigating this whole thing?
It's a day-to-day thing, and it's interesting because I already work remotely, as you read in the bio. I'm in Sacramento, and the Darkroom Lab's down in San Clemente. So I'm already working remotely prior to this. I'm always communicating with Keith and Phil and getting their updates and what's going on, and then communicating that via social media. But they're working really hard. It's a day-to-day thing, and constantly adapting for the past 2 months and trying to keep their workers as safe as possible. They're basically working around the clock to keep up with backlog, and we've been temporarily suspending some services like cartridge film and disposable cameras, but that will of course come back once we're at full staff and are able to do that. But yeah, there's been a lot of challenges. I can go into that a little bit more if you'd like.
Why disposable cameras?
They're more labor intensive, and they're not our bread and butter in the sense of true 35 millimeter and 120 that's coming in. That's just more streamlined for us, and our lab's set up to do that more effortlessly. Our workers are they are working around the clock to spread out our staff so they're not bunched up, and we're giving them safe space. As many as possible are working remotely. They have their own keyboards, their own mouse, all their different own stuff, so they can keep that clean, and we're not passing germs or anything like that. But yeah, they have a great plan. They're doing well.
Have you guys noticed an uptick in certain types of film or certain services you didn't think you would during this time?
Not any specific things, but one thing we have seen an uptick that's surprising is we expected new customers that have had film developed from other labs because other labs might not be open right now. We expected that, but something we haven't expected is a lot of people shooting film for the first time ever, which is very interesting and really cool. And I think a lot of it's just, the social media world, like you guys, what we're doing. A lot of individuals out there are spending a lot more time. They might be into photography and stuff like that, and they're seeing some people that they may follow on social media shooting film, and a lot of crossover photographers that are doing digital and film might be talking about film. So then they're like, I'm gonna try it. So we've been seeing a lot more, getting a lot of great notes and little things coming in with our orders. Phil's sending me a box of customer notes and letters and different things that people send in just in support and saying, hey, this is my first time shooting film. Thanks for being open, stuff like that.
For so many weeks, folks were either not working or working at home. Has that been any increase with just social media in general?
Huge increase. And one of the positive things we've seen out of this period of time, it's really cool to see and to encourage people where they're at. And we've always tried to, like, we're film enthusiasts first, like majority, and I feel like that's something we both can relate to, is like we love the film enthusiast, people that are just photographing everyday life. So we've kind of had this style where like we're not like photograph what's around you, the people around you, what you're doing, and that's worked really well recently because most people are staying at home and limiting their interaction with like the community around them physically. So it's been fun to encourage people to get creative in their own space, to photograph the people that they are around, and to be intentional with that. And we've been seeing that happening a lot more. And on top of that, we've been doing a film photography contest that encourages that through kind of partnered with Matt Day. We're using his little slogan, "Document Your Life," film photography contest, to basically encourage people to photograph and share the stories of their current situation, and share that with a photo. But yeah, that's going to the end of May.
Oh, how do people get involved with that?
So the easiest way to do it is to go to thedarkroom.com and just click in the photo blog, and there's the top one will be our photo competition, or if you go to Instagram, our bio link will have it. You have 3 submissions. We want them to be 1 photo per submission. If they post multiple photos in 1 submission, we'll only consider the first one. It's been going on for 2.5 months now. We have around 1,000 submissions, and we're going to go through and select a top 12, and then those top 12 will be put on our website to vote for roughly a week, and then the top 3 winners will get to first place. We'll get to select from 3 cameras, and it's a Fuji 6x9, the G3. Wow. Yeah. Nice. And then a Konica Hexar AF, and then a Canon A1.
Wow.
So if you win, you get to pick from those 3. Second place gets to pick from the remaining 2, and then third gets the remaining, which I imagine will be the Canon A1, but still a great camera.
So I was going to ask you, like the governors here on the East Coast who keep extending the stay-at-home, will you guys be extending the deadline?
Well, we actually did extend it already. It was supposed to be a couple of days ago that it would end, so we extended it. So I don't know if we're extended again, but we definitely want to do.
Don't enable people. Come on.
We definitely. I don't think we don't plan on that, but we'll do more contests in the future if people can't get in on this one. In fact, where is it? Oh yeah, we've been giving away stuff like just to entertain people, and we're going to be giving away.
Oh, that looks familiar.
So, hey. Yeah, we have your color pack.
I put that box together.
Yes, your own mitts.
Yeah, there you go. We're going to be giving away these right here, the sample pack.
Nice.
You guys. Yeah, we're excited. I mean, these, they make it easy as a little giveaway because we don't have to, you already put it together for us. And, but two, it's so cool to give this stuff away to people because, especially the samplers, because most people seem to get kind of stuck in, not in a bad way, but with 1 or 2 specific film stocks and then don't venture out, which this is a great opportunity for them to do that.
I never think of it that way, but I guess people have their favorites of what they shoot and maybe don't look around for other types of films.
Yeah, I mean, I forget about it, and I think you and we could be similar. Like, if you're working in the industry and you have the opportunity to shoot film often, you're like, oh, I could shoot that whenever I want, for the most part. So, but like, it's, like, film's an investment. Like the other day, I shot some Cine Still 800 or even Portrait 800, all film, it's not cheap necessarily. So like some people are worried to like invest money in something and then not know how it's going to turn out. And that's a lot of times what we're doing. It's like, we almost view it as like a public service on the Darkroom when we share creative effect film, like the Yadicas and stuff like that, where we're like, we're not saying you should love it or you should hate it. it's just like, this is what it is. So if you shoot it, you know kind of what to expect, because we
Right.
don't want you to be disappointed. We want to know kind of what you're getting into. So the money that you pay for it is, you're happy with your results.
Yeah. If I could compliment you, you are doing an amazing job with this Instagram. It is so active. There are so many comments. People are just so involved with it. It's so great. It's really a wonderful place to be. Folks listening and watching, if you're not on Instagram, even John Fideli is on Instagram these days.
Hi, it's John Fideli.
So there's no excuse not to be. If you're not, check it out. It's really a great platform. Trev, I want to talk a little bit to you. What these days is your go-to grab-and-go camera, and what film stocks have you been shooting lately?
I mean, my grab and go would be a Nikon FM2. Like that's
Nice.
I just love that camera, and I'm working for the darkroom. I'm always shooting a variety of cameras, which can get kind of convoluted, where I'm like, I have a bunch of cameras and a bunch of film, but I also shoot personally as well. So like, I like simplicity, and I'm always trying to find the perfect camera for me. And I feel like the FM2, I love SLRs, and then I love that it can shoot up to a 4,000th of a second, so I can shoot wide open in daylight, and it's just small, reliable. I have the 50 millimeter pancake, like 1.8,
Nice.
and then I have the 24 2.8. And I'm normally not a wide shooter, but for some reason I love wide on manual focus cameras. Like, for some reason, I don't like it the same way as if I'm shooting like an autofocus. I have my end-all film would be Portra 400, but that's very common for a lot of people. I mean, like, my end-all film is Portra 400. I just love it. But I would say black and white, I feel like I have a unique favorite film, and for the most part, and that's T-Max P3200.
Oh, that is a unique one.
So that, I just love that film. Like, I do like Triax, and but it's just like, I like that film P3200 because it's just every day, all the time. I shoot it indoors. It's great for documenting my family and my daughter. And if I happen to walk outside, it's still pretty good outdoors, especially if I can shoot at 4,000th of a second. I'm not shooting like f/22. But yeah, I love that film. And then I've been shooting with Lomo Chrome Metropolis.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't broken into that yet.
It's
for some reason.
You were involved
I did
with
the Kickstarter. Yeah, I got
yeah.
the 120 and 35, but I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah,
Good. It's interesting film.
Yeah.
It's cool.
the folks at Lomography constantly it seems once or twice a year are putting out special flavors, as I call them. So, do you see that your followers are they digging the specialty films, the Metropolis, the Yotica, the jazzy blues, stuff like that?
It depends. The way that I use that film, even if I wasn't like working with a darkroom, is like I call them a creative effect film. I don't know if that's like the official thing, because Metropolis isn't a creative effect. I think it's an actual emulsion. Like, they haven't like taken a Kodak like Ultramax and tweaked it like how like Psychedelic Blues or something like that. But I think the reason why I like it is I shoot a lot of things a lot. For instance, Yosemite, I used to live there and I go there a lot. So I don't want to take the same photos with the same stock all the time. So every once in a while, I'm just like, I'm putting Lomochrome purple in there. I'm going to change things up. And it's fun to see people's reaction to something that they see a lot in a completely different look. So that's where it's fun, and where I encourage people. It's like, if you feel stuck in a rut with like what you're photographing, maybe try something different.
Right.
Like you guys are sending that low ISO, or have that low ISO film, and we're gonna be shooting some of it soon. That's completely outside of the box for what I would normally do. I like higher ISO stuff. So that's something that will force me to either use a tripod or get outside. And I don't like tripods that much, so I'll probably get outside on a bright day.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's a fun thing about film is like there's, depending on the stock, you have different limitations, and it kind of allows you to go into a different like
Mindset.
space.
Yeah.
Mindset for sure.
Yeah, those limitations force creativity, whether you like it or not. Like you have to work around a certain problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's why sometimes it's fun to leave Portrait, because you're like, this Portrait has no limitations.
Right. Right.
I'm kidding.
It's too easy.
No, it's my grab and go film.
I wanted to let you guys know too. I've shot with the Trev Pan, the variety of them, multiple times, and but I was shot with the Trev Pan 400 multiple times, and I love that film.
Mm.
And I actually had some of it. My dad's been shooting with. Well, I have it back now, but a Olympus Stylus Epic.
Nice.
And he shot the Trev Pan 200. And it turned out really good, which I usually don't always encourage people. If they're shooting point and shoots, I try to encourage them oftentimes to shoot color, because color underexposed, if it gets underexposed, like you don't have as much control over the exposure, and you have color to separate the underexposure, and it does well where black and white can kind of get a little muddy. But that film was amazing.
It is, and
it was really good. It looked good with the point and shoot, and even when it was underexposed, it looked good.
We don't talk about it enough. We don't. This is probably the first time that we've talked about Trev Pan black and white since the dark
probably
room,
the Paideia, yeah,
the dark room shindig last year. So I'm really happy. We spent months testing that film, so I'm very happy that the results have turned out to meet your expectations. It's a great film. It really is.
No, it reminds me of the way, like, oftentimes of people asking for comparisons, and it kind of reminds me of, if I were to compare it to a popular, well-known, I would say T-Max in a way. Like, it has kind of like the nice pop, but with a little more contrast. In my experience, I can get it for cheaper, and it looks really good. I like it.
Matt, you've said this so many times. Find a film, shoot a few rolls, so you get a sense of how you feel about it. It's hard to do a one roll review. So.
Yeah, it's really it's a balance too, because like I totally get Trev's recommendation of getting that sampler pack, but it's like no matter. I don't know, like when you get started, I did like a film of the week for a long time, and if I didn't have maybe 6-10 weeks of shooting the same thing over and over, doing a film of the week just felt like shooting in the dark. But when you have that base to work from and that confidence, then go for it. I mean, there's so many good films.
That is a very good point. I mean, that's a lot of times, I guess it depends on how you shoot. But a lot, like if I have a friend who's really serious, or someone's asked, like I have my friend Travis, who lives in Yosemite, and he's like, what should I shoot? And he's trying all these different black and whites. And I was just like, pick one, especially with black and white. I think black and white's one to stick, because you have to figure out how, like, your exposure, and like, I feel like black and white film can be way more unforgiving than color film when it comes to underexposure and, like, if you mess up. So yeah, I would totally agree, especially with black and white, to stick with one for a bit.
Is there any word from HQ, the darkroom, regarding another get-together in 2020 or 2021?
That's definitely something we would like to do. But yeah, there's definitely a possibility of it happening by the end of the year. And then, but if we do that, we'd love to live stream it and put it out for people that can't make it. But we definitely, the answer, yes, we would love to. Phil's working on it, and I'm almost know as much as you do. I hear about that stuff in spurts a little bit. But outside of that, we definitely want to keep doing stuff like what we're doing right now. We've been doing a lot of different lives, and we're going to do, like, we'd love to do another one with you guys where we just entertain people, ask questions. We've been doing the lives where the questions come up on Instagram, and we can just literally answer them right there. Like we had Beerjit from Lomo, which is a really good one. We've had Matt Day, Take Ko, Chris from Analog Talk podcast, a bunch of different stuff. So it's been cool to talk with people, to see what they've been up to, how they're getting creative. Like, what have you guys noticed that your photography has changed during this time? Especially Matt, because you shoot a lot of larger format from what I've seen. So I imagine that might be a little more challenging.
It's I don't know. I'm still getting out there. I definitely was shooting way less in the beginning, and now it's like I got out. I think I got out of my funk finally, and I'm starting to explore a bit more. Some of the nature places I'll go to. A few of them are closed, due to distancing, but a lot of them, I was the only person there in the first place. So this the isolation kind of works to my favor for some of the things. But I am shooting a lot more. I find I start a lot more local. I'm a little more timid to branch out as far as I was before, but it's a little bit less, and there's no concrete plan for a project, but otherwise still shooting. And now I'm doing the whole video thing again. I rebooted the YouTube, so I'm keeping busy with that instead.
How about you, John?
What about me? Well, I'm just doing scanning. I have such a backlog of films that have already been developed that I haven't scanned, so I'm not really shooting right now. Almost down to the end of it. So once I get to the end of it,
that's great.
Then we'll send out another package to the dark room.
Hey.
And I've completely ramped up the podcast, going into video, and I haven't been able to shoot as much as I like. And when I do, I'm forced to shoot all the new films that are not released yet. So I wish I could shoot a roll of Portra. I wish I could shoot a roll of Ektar, but I can't because I have a line of stuff that I need to test. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
I've been doing this with everyone.
Do you want us to pose?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're going to all do a pose. This is awesome.
Sweet.
Okay, ready? Gotcha.
Well,
yeah, I've been doing that with everyone I've done. It's been fun fun. I should have by the end of this phase that we're in, I'll have a bunch of them. Post them all.
Trev, thank you very much for taking the time. And I'm hoping this is really the beginning, of a regular check-in.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, let's do it. Yeah, I'd love to.
And a shout out to all the fine folks that work, at the darkroom. Phil and Keith, Joe, Tracy, everyone. You guys do such a fine job. And
if you guys ever have any questions that are listening, send us a direct message. We treat our direct messages like customer service emails. We give that.
Right. Well, I've been watching the news lately, and, there's a little unrest. I think if you guys don't start developing 110 soon, I think there may be, a little shouting in the streets.
It'll be back soon.
Okay. We sell so much. We sell so much 110 film.
I'm gonna be. I'm gonna do I'll end on this. I don't want to take up too much time. I'm gonna do a comparison of these two.
Nice.
That's great.
My goal is gonna be a spoiler. This one's gonna win, so I'm gonna do it as a joke where I'm just more pocketable. More all the different things I'm gonna play to the strengths, and this will get image quality, but this will this has an auto setting. This has no auto setting. It's a con, but I can't do that until 110's back. So it'll be back. We'll let you guys know. We'll do a post about it.
Great.
And send you guys a message once it's back in full production.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Trev, and everyone out there who's listening. We'll be right back.